My name is Lesego Lekgobane, better known by my social media name Thick Leonce. I am a Wits political science student and I am a published photographer. I was born and bred in northwestern Potchefstroom. I was raised by a single parent. I joined social media at a very young age. I think I was 16 or something, and little did I know how much I would blow up on social media and what a big following I would get. So through my social media profiles, what I try to spread at most times is self-love and self-acceptance. We live in a generation whereby social media is a big part of almost everyone's life. I mean, kids who are like 12, 11 already have smartphones and already have access to social platforms online such as Twitter and Instagram. I mean, at that age, for me, I didn't even know what the hell social media was. And when you are that young, I guess you don't even know what to expect from all of this. All you're doing at that point of your life is trying to engage with your friends. But unfortunately, there are so many strangers online, and people who don't even know you on a personal basis will have an opinion about you. When I encountered cyberbullying, it was a big shock to me that how could people be so hateful, and where do they get all this hate from? Where do you get the guts to tell the next person that you don't like XYZ about them? So I really feel bad for the kids growing up in today's generation because they are sidelined from so many things I feel like they should be enjoying, such as playing around with friends, as opposed to being on their phones and having to read all these things that they shouldn't even be exposed to at such a young age. Because when you are that young, whatever that you get from other people, it's something, especially if it's a negative thing, you carry it with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, this is the first time we're kind of sitting and talking.
I've seen you on Twitter, Kaya.
I have seen you on Twitter and I've said hi to you in a couple of places.
Yes,
so.
I've been cyberbullied by you on Twitter, Kaya.
No, you have not been cyberbullied.
Anyways, I relate to Thick Leonce's story.
How do you relate to it?
I relate to it in the sense that Twitter is a space where people think that they can gang up on you. The fact that if people are all ganging up on you, it means you're a threat. And then there's just it's a bit psycho for me for people to be always on your case.
I think it's quite an interesting point, because for me, I think that sometimes they may say things deliberately to rile people up, right?
Yeah.
And because people are very easy to rile up, I think, especially on the internet.
Yes.
And when that happens, they kind of jump on the bandwagon because it just said something that they may find so outrageous. And I think for me, there's a big difference between that and maybe cyberbullying, where I think that one is just being really attacked for no reason other than the fact that they look different or they think differently than someone who is deliberately instigating some sort of, I don't know, you know. So for me, I think that those are two different things.
If you are I'm sure you also know this, but if you're a vocal person, you also have to expect that you are going to get some kind of reaction. So you can't be a victim about certain things. Like what you're saying. If someone is putting something in the instigate, then people respond, then there's a response.
What was the attraction for you, you know, to get onto the social networking platforms?
For me, I mean, I actually started Twitter maybe 4 years before I was active. I went and I was like, I don't get this, and I left it. Then I came back 4 years later, and I don't know how or why it started doing what it does, but I know that I'm honest and I just speak what I feel, and I know that my thoughts at times go against what everybody's thinking.
Or is there anything that you get out of it being in it? And that makes the abuse and the things that you hear like worth it. You're like, yeah, I'll keep going back to it.
You know why? I know that the things that I'm raising are important conversations for the country. I know that if I don't say the things I'm saying, nobody's going to say them, and then we're going to continue on this mediocre path. So I'd actually rather be hated and have people start engaging the things I'm saying, because I know later on they'll get it.
Don't you think that maybe one of the reasons that's the case, because there is a perception and idea that, okay, you know, self-importance, for example.
So what, though? Why are we so caught up with who feels important about themselves?
Because what happens, that's what people think.
That's insecurity.
And that's what people seem to think.
Why should I care that you love yourself so much? Unless I'm insecure.
Kanye West. The school of Kanye West.
Kanye can love himself, guys.
Yes,
It does not
yes.
take anything away from us. You know,
Yeah.
people who are self-important are important to themselves.
Yes, yes.
What is wrong with our people that we have an issue with self-love and putting ourselves on a pedestal, you know? If the issues I'm raising, you don't want to deal with them, then go and play somewhere else. But don't have an issue with the fact that I think I'm self-important or self-righteous, whatever. That's not the issue I'm raising. The issues I'm raising are here on the table.
My very first experience on social media was a good one. I got onto social media and I was excited that I'd have, you know, that link between me, my favorite celebrities, fashion, all those cool things that I could easily access them so quickly, so instantly. I was very excited. And then I became a photographer and I started working with a lot of people in the entertainment industries. And through that, I acquired a big following. And I thought, hey, look at me, I'm so popular, this is so cool. Little did I know how badly that would turn out to be. Having to read people saying, you're a fat cow, or go eat a gym, or you are the queen of ugly girls. You make ugly girls believe that it's okay to be ugly. You make fat girls think it's okay to be fat. You are Shrek's sister. You look like a whale. And I'm thinking, what did I ever do to people to receive so much hatred from them? Most people are unhappy about a whole lot of things in their lives because things aren't going their certain ways, and sometimes it's much easier to take out your frustrations on the next person because at that moment in time it makes you feel better about yourself. It's so scary. It scares me so much when someone obsesses over me and someone obsesses over hurting me and someone going out of their lives to find things and find these words, malicious words to get at me. It's so creepy, it scares me, it makes me wonder. I mean, there are so many things you could be doing with your time, but for you to actually have this passion of bullying me online, it's very creepy. Like, why?
It feels to me as though women generally get a lot of that. So women will get a lot more
Just about
their
looks.
physical appearance and all of that, you know, on social media than guys.
Women, especially black women, are not allowed to be strong. The minute you have a voice, that's when everybody turns on you. The minute you love yourself, that's when everybody turns on you. I feel as if our youth is very naive about fame, you know? They have got these lights in their minds about the realities of fame. And you can even hear the way she's speaking that, oh, so popular, whatever. And I'm just like, that's not what it's about, guys. It means there's a breakdown in our media in terms of communicating to the youth what success is and what they should be aiming for. You can't be aiming to be popular.
That is, for me, I find that's one of the most important lessons that young people have to understand. And I think for me, I look at it as almost like a quest and a search for significance.
Right?
And so
affirmation. Why do they need to be affirmed so
if I
badly?
am known by lots of people, and then that means I have somehow acquired a meaning of life.
I'm important.
I'm important, and I suspect that's what it is, but it's not, I wouldn't really, I don't even blame them for it. What I would say is that it's because I don't think that as a society, we've been able to define what it is that we need to achieve and do for ourselves.
We have an identity crisis.
Exactly. And so, and hence, and there's a reason people feel now that in order for me to have any sort of relevance or to be considered anybody, is that the one thing I should desire
have many followers on Twitter.
above everything else in the world is to be famous. And one of the easiest ways to do that is what? By being on social media, and perhaps that will parachute me or propel me towards, what is real fame, television, and those kinds of things.
Coming up after the break.
Oh, sweetie, I'm rocking. I'm going to be on TV right now, okay?
Yeah. Oh, why
How
being
can
so
you say
mean?
that? I
It's
know.
like no one said anything when they said that to me.
I believe that most of us, and when I say most of us, I'm now talking from a personal stance whereby I will be sitting in a group with friends and nobody really ever has time to really engage with one another. 80% of the time we are all on our phones. When you post a picture on Instagram, you can't even put your phone down for like an hour or 2 hours because you are so inquisitive about what are people saying? Do people like me? Do people like my picture? When you tweet something and you become so obsessed with what you've just put out there that you don't want anything distracting you from the responses that you are getting. And it happens to a lot of us. I guess I was also at some point that girl whereby I just couldn't survive without anything but my Twitter feed and all of that, whereby I wanted to see what hateful thing are they saying about me today. And I hate it when people say, it's just Twitter. No, it's not just Twitter. When it becomes a personal thing, when you start attacking my personal and physical attributes, then you are taking it too far. Then it's not just Twitter anymore, it's something else. It's you attacking me, and that is wrong. And when you defend yourself and people be like, here we go again, she's defending herself. Why does she have to fight these people? It's just Twitter. It's not just Twitter when people make it more than just Twitter.
So is it really more than just Twitter? I think that for me, it is just Twitter, but it's also more than just Twitter. It depends how, like we said earlier, how seriously you take it. But some of the things that you say, they can affect what happens to you in real life.
Yes.
So, and I think that's an important point to remember. But also, and then, you know, it's like, because I think people give maybe Twitter too much credit. If you don't have the talent, for example, so like Thick Leonce is a photographer. She's a really good photographer. She needs to remember why she was there in the first place, to showcase her talent.
I think that's where young people lose the plot. They all want to be famous, but they don't know what they're famous for. So they get caught up in the hype and the VIP stuff, and they don't realize that actually everything is yin and yang. Because even this morning, when I was coming to the shoot, somebody tweeted, "You're nothing more than Tanswa's sister." And I replied, I'm off to a TV shoot now. Enjoy your day. And that's how I felt.
Yes.
I was like, sweetie, I'm working. I want to be on TV right now, okay?
Yes,
While
yes.
you're tweeting me that I'm just Tanswa's sister, I'm on my thing.
It's not easy as a parent to hear your child saying, "Mom, so-and-so said this about me," and having to see me get to that level of low. She sometimes also takes it as a personal lash on her because she gave birth to me. My mom's also on social media, so when she has to read all of these things, I guess it's just as confusing to her as it is to me that you are the most positive person that I know. It's not like you're going out there and you being this mean person. So why? Why are they saying all of these things about you? You'll get people putting up memes, literally putting up a picture of Shrek and putting a picture of me and saying Shrek's sister. And I'm thinking, I know it frustrates me at times. It really does. I know it frustrates the people close to me. And it frustrates my mother, my friends, and the one time my friend's brother was so shocked. He's like, what the hell? It was his first time seeing all these horrible things on Twitter. And he called my friend and he said, what's going on? And I guess the worst part that was my friend's response to her brother was that it happens every day. She's kind of used to it. It's not right for someone to get used to being bullied. People think, she'll be okay. We do it to her every day, whatever. It really shouldn't be a norm. Nobody should ever get used to being hated on. Nobody should ever get used to being bullied.
Shucks.
So is it?
Shucks, no one should ever get used to being bullied. It's spot on. It's very easy to speak and to get over the stuff, but in all honesty, in the still of the night, it's sore. And it's not nice for people to live in soreness.
But what's interesting though, what I noticed being on Twitter was that if you have a larger following, right? So if someone is mean to you, it's almost like you have almost a moral obligation or some kind of obligation not to be as mean as the person is. And because I noticed this early, like a long time
I've
ago,
seen them.
where say something to something back
Yeah.
to somebody, and then it's like, oh, why
How
being
can you
so
say
mean?
that? I
It's like,
know.
no one said anything when they said that to
know,
me.
me too.
So, but I think maybe there is a responsibility that you have.
Actually,
Yes.
for the first time ever, I've been on Twitter, I'm sure like 5 years, and I've been
Yeah.
bullied every single day on
Yes.
Twitter. For the first time, a female rapper, Gigi Lemaine, was like, yo, you guys are cyberbullying Zigima's wife. And it's the first, and I was like, oh my God, I've been here for 5 years, every single day. People have been swearing at me. This is the first time a little girl who's 22 years old
Yes.
is like, hold up.
You know, to this day, I cannot bring myself to swear, to curse. I cannot, you know.
Because of your
I can't
upbringing.
even say, you know, like, I see people throwing the F word, like,
Yeah.
F-bombs and all of that, but I simply cannot do it because in the back of my mind, I imagine my grandmother, you know, and I say it and she
Yeah.
slaps on the back of my head. That's what I imagine.
So what's happening
And
with our upbringing?
I think for me that is a question. What's happened? Are we being raised by television?
I think it is TV, because that whole snide and ugly and fake lifestyle is very Hollywood.
Yes.
So people are watching TV and emulating, even the way we look.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see they've just like plastered on what they see on TV.
Coming up on I Am.
People are being bullied in your
People
name.
need to stand up and say, guys, you can't be doing this. Not in my name.
To be brave, to be strong, to be true. To be brave, to be strong, to be true.
Some kids don't take it very easily or lightly when people are bullying them, because to them already they have their own baggage going on, and not everyone is a lesego who can say, no, screw you, your opinion doesn't matter, the only opinion that matters in my life is my own. Twitter is as powerful as you want it to be. It's up to you as an individual to kind of like analyze it in your own manner. It's up to you to retrieve it in a way that will affect you, whether positively or negatively. The minute you understand that it's not real. Casper, the other day I was with Casper in your vest and he was telling me that Twitter is not real. You don't take anything that's on Twitter seriously. You don't take it into your head. You just brush it off, because people on Twitter are not the way that they are in person as they are when they are behind their phones. The minute you know who you are, nobody's opinion even gets to you. You're just like, whatever, you don't know the first thing about me. So, and also to the people who are being hateful, how's about, instead of hating, how's about you actually get to know me? You might end up liking me.
That was my point.
They're not interested in knowing you.
You might end up liking me.
But I do find that, for me personally, is that I don't know how many times I've run into people and I've met a lot of people, because people paint these pictures. So they will paint an image of who they think you are, or maybe what they want you to be, right?
Exactly, for
And-
their convenience.
And so because I've painted you to be this thing that I want you to be, so it makes it okay for me to say the things that I want to say to
Exactly.
you. Now, the moment I see you and I meet you and you're a human being, you're a person, then I feel horrible about the kind of person that I was towards you, because now I've met you and you're a real person. You know, Hashem, you know what, like, I'll give you an example. For me, it wasn't even a matter of cyberbullying. And I just like, oh, I'm being funny. There was Idols, the year Kaya won.
Okay.
There was the other girl. And I said things like, oh, Melissa's Sangoma is amazing. I don't know how she's made it to the top 5.
Yeah.
You know, things, and I'd say these things.
Yeah.
And so I'd say, but they were, you know, I thought they were, you know, amusing. And then I met her, right? And she was so nice to me, and we were,
You were like, "Oh,
chatting,
damn."
and I felt like the world's biggest
Yeah.
because this is such a nice person.
I reckon that people only bully you when you're special. So if you're getting bullied, it means that there's something special about you. And in terms of how you use Twitter, Twitter's a very powerful platform. You can get into people's minds and you can create movements. There's much more to Twitter than just hating people and selfies. So people just stop being clever, right?
It's also like, about making friends. And you may meet them once in a while, but then you fall in love with their mind. You fall in love with how they think. And they become a weird part of you in a way, even though you're very distant
Yeah.
from them. And I feel that a lot of the things that we do, we're always talking about what the victim should be doing, for example. So it's like, as a victim, don't take it too seriously. As a rape victim, or you are an abused woman, right? So like, why are you staying, right? Why aren't you saying to the person who's abusing, stop abusing
Yeah.
women?
Let's
And-
address them.
And for me, and I feel like it's the same thing with the cyberbullying. It's like, it's not just about what the person's being bullied. It's like, stop bullying. And everybody else who is seeing the bullying happen, do something about it.
So can
Talk
you
to
and I
somebody.
commit to every time we see cyberbullying happening, we're like, yo,
Yes, absolutely.
yo.
Yes, I
And you
think-
must tag me every
I
time,
think-
and I'll tag you. And we must be known as
Yeah.
the bully police.
Yeah,
where
because
it's like,
you
yo,
cannot
you're
be
bullying
bullying
this
other
person.
people.
Right?
So people need to stand up. There needs to be like, a movement.
We need to change the
And for me,
situation.
it's not just like a cyber thing. It's what's happening on the ground as well. I mean, there's so much stuff that's happening in schools. So those
Yeah.
kids, don't stand there while someone's being bullied. You record with your cell phone
Yeah.
and you're standing there and you're laughing.
People are being bullied in your
People
name.
need to stand up and say, guys, you can't be doing this. Not in my name.
Not in my name. Don't bully
Yeah.
people in my name.
Yeah.
So now, that's our campaign.
Yeah. Not in
Thank
my
you
name.
so much. It was nice to hang out with you.
Yeah, great chatting. I'm sorry, I have to
Now I
run.
like you. yeah, I'm gonna unblock you now. I might actually like you.
I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am kind. I am more than what you say that I am.
Next week on I Am.
I think the second time I went to treatment, I was the only person who's recognizable.
Right.
Like, there's like housewives and nurses, football coaches,
Miners.
and you know what I mean? Like such a diverse group of people that you would, if you had to bump shoulders with these people in the mall, you'd never think that.
Don't trust the upstanding members of society.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I am anti cyberbullying. It's a mean thing, mean-spirited people.
Over and above the fact it's terrible for other people, I think that it misrepresents you as a person.